YouTube, Dawson Red. Forgot Ace fell down. Oh well. Dawson's Rentals. Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with some Power Rangers Lightning Collection news today from today's Fan First Friday. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So as I reported the other day, we found some like rumored listings, not rumored listings, we found some early listings, some stuff, and the A-Squad figures were in there, and some release date info potentially on the TMNT figures was in there, as well as a Lightning Collection helmet. We didn't hear anything about the helmet, we didn't see anything about the TMNT figures, which I was a little bit disappointed by because I kind of wanted to see what they looked like, but those should still be coming soon. But we did see the A-Squad figures. They showed off the rest of the A-Squad figures that are going to be releasing individually at various places. They're all going to be available today on Hasbro Pulse, which should totally be called Hasbro Plus, because that's the way I always see it in my head. Today for premium members and regular in a certain quantity and quality, I guess. But then they're also going to be at various places. Like, I know Pink is a GameStop exclusive. I almost said GameStop is a Pink exclusive. But I think a couple of the other ones are like sort of semi-exclusives. Honestly, the way he said it was really confusing. It's like, we're gonna make this way more difficult than it needs to be. But they're all coming out individually, not in a 2-pack. Still, unfortunately, with no human head sculpts, which is, I'm not trying to be an entitled fan, but I'm definitely disappointed by that. Because I think the head sculpts, even though I, to be honest, don't use them very often, I think is a cool addition to the Lightning Collection to keep your options open. And I feel like the A-Squad civilian heads would have been something really neat, since they're kind of more of a niece, you know, type of helmet, of civilian head, because, you know, all the other ones, we know all the actors from all the times, but A-Squad was just there for this brief window, and that would have been one that was kind of cool, especially for some unique ones like the aliens. But still, setting that aside, it's super cool that we're getting A-Squad. Again, this is kind of more of an obscure release that wouldn't sell to like the mass fans, and so it's really cool that we're getting this so early on, relatively early on in the Lightning line, and I think they're pretty good looking figures. So even though I'm disappointed about no civilian heads, I'm still super stoked we're getting the A-Squad figures. Like, I just think that's super cool, and we already have them complete. I'm not going to rule out the possibility of them eventually doing a 5-pack with the civilian heads. You never know, because like Hasbro's lines like this are known for re-releases. As far as new stuff that we really didn't know about that much, we got 2 2-packs. We got TJ and Psycho Silver, which I'm really excited about, actually, because if you guys follow my channel, you know In Space is my favorite season. TJ is one of my favorite Rangers, especially as In Space Blue. We didn't see a civilian head, though, in the presentation. It's possible either after I put this video up or when I'm editing it, there'll be some press photos I'll be able to use. But when they just showed, like, on the stream, they didn't show the civilian head. But I'm excited to get In Space Blue because it's one of my favorite Rangers. It continues to complete In Space, and Psycho Silver also completes the Psycho Rangers for now, unless we get more down the line. So that's cool. I don't know if he'll come with a civilian Zane head or not. Again, as of this recording, all I've watched is the stream in which they didn't show anything off, so it's possible in the future there's something, even after this goes up. The other 2-pack was MMPR Yellow Aisha and Scropina, which is, you know, it's the first regular Aisha release. She has her civilian head coming with the metallic ones, but it's her regular release. Is it our first Scropina figure? Did we ever get one back in the day? I feel like I have a memory of like the monster form Scropina in the big figure packs, not packs, but like the big figure style, but that could be a Mandela effect thing. But he was like, when he presented, he's like, oh, this is something fans have really been asking for. I'm like, have we though? I think he meant, though, thinking about it, like in the grand scheme, we never really have gotten proper Scropina figures. I was more so thinking about recently, I mean, who knows, maybe you guys have seen something different, but from what I've seen in terms of like Lightning Collection releases in the here and now, I haven't seen Scropina brought up a whole lot, especially with having to buy another MMPR yellow figure. But still, it looks pretty good. My situation's kind of different just because I'm not that into villain figures outside of like special cases like Astronema or Ranger-esque villains like Korag or Void Knight, so I'm not that excited about villain figures usually, but I'll say it looks pretty good. Now, the other reveal, as far as figures go, was a pretty unexpected and I think unique one, which is a civilian Andros figure. This is like an Andros figure that doesn't have really any Ranger form in a traditional sense, and it's based off of his disguise look when we first meet him in Space, when he's invading the meeting of the 5 families, or not the 5 families, the Evil Alliance or whatever, and also the hood he has on Forever Red. So it's just kind of a civilian suit. He does have his weapons. I think that's a super cool idea. It also has, like, to replicate the fact fact that when he has his hood on, it just looks like a shadow. They have like a completely painted, like black in space helmet, which actually looks pretty cool on its own. But I think that's a really neat way of doing it. And it also made me think, like thinking back to the TJ 2-pack, I was like, you know what, 0 out of 10, this isn't even a 5-pack of just all in space blues to be accurate. And where's my Lightning Collection in space chest figure set? And mainly because of the black helmet all painted reminded me of those chess figures they use to plan strategies. But I think this is a cool release. Again, big in space fans, so I'm excited for this release in general, but I'm excited for what this means, mainly because if this does well and they want to make more of these, it opens up the possibility of civilian figures. I'm not sure how much that excites other people, but I think there's really cool options. I mean, we could get like figures for the civilian suits, you know, like Ninja Storm and SPD where they had like civilian suits. I would buy those. Or for like unique outfits like this, we could have ones like for Jen when she had that cool like bounty hunter looking outfit during Time Force. We could give it like a civilian Doggy Kruger. There's all kinds of options we could get in the future if this works. As of right now, they didn't say anything about when this releases and where, just to stay tuned, but we did get a look at it. And then the last little reveal was kind of an interesting one. It was a look at the Turbo Navigator, it looks like, because they just wanted to leave you a tease for what's to come, which is really weird. Again, as of this recording, there's no more information, so maybe if you're from the future, there's more stuff, but just going off literally only the picture they showed, I'm gonna assume it's a Lightning Collection item, which is just strange. I literally just mentioned in my last Lightning Collection News video how I'm hoping to see the ball get rolling on more non-figure stuff, because the helmet was in there. I'm like, okay, I want to see more helmets, but I want to see what they're going to do next with the morphers and weapons, because as of right now, all we have is the Power Morpher and the Dragon Dagger. I honestly assumed the next thing would probably be like, you know, the Blade Blaster or Tommy's Morpher, since all you have to do is repaint it gold. I did not expect the Turbo Navigator, but we don't know exactly what's going on with it. But assuming this is at least leaning towards the roleplay stuff, I'm excited to maybe get the ball rolling on it, even if it's an odd choice. But that was it for today. Honestly, I thought it was a pretty solid Fan First Friday. Not a lot of huge stuff, but stuff I'm looking forward to. It was probably one of my overall favorites presentation-wise. I mean, they did some trivia in the middle, but for the most part, it was concise and to the point. You know, I'm very impatient in my old age now. I'm like, I just want the information and get out of here in a tight 15. So I was appreciative that it was, you know, to the point. I got to know the news and I didn't feel like I was wasting too much time. But what do you guys think of the latest reveals? If we do stuff like civilian figures, what are some civilian type Ranger figures you'd like to see in the future? And also, what is on your list of like roleplay lightning weapons you want to see in the future? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.